used to think the glow was makeup, something I had to earn. But it's water in the morning and letting my body learn. This clean skin, soft light, this rest that shows in my eyes.
And welcome to another show from In the Chair with Clorishay. Today I have a very special guest. She is here to tell a little bit about her life story. There are some things that we all deal with that we kind of keep to ourselves. We never realize how much we could be a help to someone else if we just share our story. Not only can we be a help to someone else, we can also be a help to ourselves. So help me in welcoming my guest for today in the chair is Miss Winter Fortune. Hi, Miss Fortune. Oh, look at that smile. You have such
Hi,
a beautiful smile.
thank you.
You're welcome. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. Look at that smile. Ooh, I'm talking about ear to ear, baby. That's an award-winning smile, honey. Miss Fortune, it is such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you for having
I
me.
I want to start off by letting the listeners and the viewers know that Winter is my niece. She is the eldest daughter of my late sister, Joy, her biological daughter. Winter is also my first and oldest niece, and she is an adopted child to my family because I just take all the children in the family when I can. Miss Winter Fortune, I'm so glad to have you here. And it's a brave soul to come and have a conversation with me. You're going to learn on TV, I'm a little off. On the radio, I'm a little off. But I think you already know how off I am. So we're going to leave that one alone, okay? So, Miss Fortune, tell me a little bit about yourself. I see you're absolutely beautiful. Have you ever been a model?
No, thank you. No. Um, well, to start off, my name is Winter Fortune. I am 20 years old. I currently work as an instructional aide, and yeah,
So you work as an instructional aide.
I
So
do.
tell me a little bit about it. You don't have to name the company or the school or anything, but tell me what makes you want to do what you do, because if you're an instructional aide, that means you're in the classroom with children all day. Am I correct?
Correct. Correct.
Oh my goodness. So how tell me a little bit about your day. What's a normal day for you as an instructional aide?
Well, get up, go to work. See the kids every morning. They're all excited. They're all happy to see me. Basically, kids for 7 hours being their self. Take them to lunch. Take them to the bathroom. Take them out to play outside, and that's about pretty much what I do.
Okay, so you actually assist the regular teacher in the classroom. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, okay. It really takes a very, very, very special person to work in education.
Hmm.
And you must have a heart for children. You must have love for children in order to even consider being an aide, because usually the aide has to deal with certain things to keep the classroom running efficiently, like
Correct.
disruptions or
Hmm.
children acting silly or need to go to the restroom or has an excuse to go to the nurse. I'm sure there are a plethora of things that go on with these
Yes.
children. So how do you keep your scruples together?
Uh, um, I don't know. Oh my goodness.
What
Sometimes I
keeps you
take,
going?
sometimes I take a deep breath in and out. I mean, it's always, sometimes it's always a lot. I mean, and sometimes it's not. So, just seeing them happy is what keeps them going.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what keep you going. Seeing them happy keeps you going.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to make sure I heard it correctly. I apologize for that.
It's okay.
So, how long did it take for the kids to learn to trust you?
Mm, wow.
And I say that I ask that question because I know when you start somewhere with children, they're going to test you first.
They are.
And I'm sure you got some stories for that. They're going to test you first, but then they get to a point where they trust you and they are willing to listen and they're willing to be obedient. So, about how long after you started in this position did it take your set of kids to get relaxed enough to trust you?
I'd say about a week and a half in. Then they started to trust me. Ease
Oh,
down a
that's
little
good.
bit.
That's good. That's good timing. So, before that week hit that mark, what did you deal with from from your first day of getting to know your group of kids?
Well, they definitely were testing a lot of things, but at the same time, I think as time went on, they started trusting me, calming down, feeling a little bit more relaxed around me. And so, and I think they kind of just, uh, I'd say adjusted to having a new aide there.
Now, that's a big word. That word adjusted is so important because I know from me working in education, when you're dealing with children, there are some kids who don't adjust as well as others or as quickly as others. So you
Correct.
got to be a special person for them to trust you in such a short period of time.
Hmm.
So let me ask you this. When you started building communications with these kids, did you see a little bit of yourself in any of them?
I did. I could. There's a few of them that remind me of myself. And remind me of how I acted when I was a little younger. But at the same time, I, they're all wonderful, and it's a good thing that they have opened up to me. So.
Wow. I know that your experience dealing with the different type of children
Hmm.
can be a little bit challenging.
Hmm.
And once you learn some of their stories, their livelihoods, where they come from, the situations they're in, it can sometimes set you back a little bit and bring everything that you've gone through full circle. That makes sense?
Hmm. Correct.
So, with everything becoming slowly becoming full circle, because I know the school year is not out yet, and
Hmm.
we just have a few more months before they are awarded such a wonderful summer break, and they get to go back home to their regular everyday lives.
Hmm.
When you think about that, are there any concerns you have, for some of those kids?
Well, this is a tough question.
Now, you don't have to be specific, don't mention anybody's name or anything, but you can talk about the situations.
Well, I would say a lot of them could be going through something. Um, I would hope not, and I would just wish the best for them, and I will be happy to see them again next year.
That's a good way to go around, ring around the rosy, without being direct with your answer. I'm gonna let that one slide. I'm gonna let it slide. And the reason I'm gonna let it slide is because we're about to dive into the story of how Miss Winter became such a wonderful young lady. You've grown, I can say, into a very respectful and respectable young adult. And I
Thank
am
you.
grateful for that. You have a pure spirit. But can you give me an idea? Think back to as far as you can about your childhood being in school, whether it was daycare or kindergarten. Did you have a favorite teacher? Did you have favorite activities? What was your favorite time of day? Give me a little, just a little short background.
Well, I did have a favorite teacher. Oh, I cannot think of her name,
Uh-oh.
but she has actually recently popped up at the school that I'm working at.
How cool.
Um, and so it was great to see her again. Um, I'd say as far as I could go back, hmm, school life. I'd say it was interesting. I can go back to probably back to when I was in maybe kindergarten, first grade. It was fun. Um Having fun with all my classmates, everybody getting along together. I'd say it was pretty good in school.
Okay. 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 So you enjoy school, which most kids that I know do. They look forward to going to school. One thing I have learned is sometimes the school is the only place where these kids get love and attention, or
Correct.
they get two good meals at least
Mhm.
5 days a week, or they have an opportunity to receive clean clothes or new clothes and new shoes and have a sense of belonging.
Correct.
And I notice myself when we deal with these type of situations, if you have a heart for children,
Mhm.
sometimes in the back of your mind you wonder, I wonder what they're really going through. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
Because just because they run in and they jump in your arms and they're happy to see you, and I know they'd be mad with me because I tell them I don't hug children. I don't hug, and I do that not just I'm not trying to be mean or anything.
Mhm.
However, I don't want the cooties. I don't want I don't, I don't want a stomach virus, but I also don't want to become attached.
Correct.
And that's one of my issues. I don't want to become attached because I become attached and then I become too involved in their lives
Mhm.
because I have been one of those kids that looked forward to coming to school and staying in school all day long and all evening to avoid some things that may have been going on at home. I've been that kid.
Mhm.
Um, so when you think back to your childhood and you had that favorite teacher, I wish I would have had an opportunity to see my favorite teacher again. She's passed away, but Lord forgive me for not having a better way to say this. She was an old lady when I was in school. So by the time I graduated high school, she had been retired for a few years, and she had completed her mission here on this earth. So, but she made such a big impact on my life and for me believing in my own abilities because I was exposed to so many different things in my life. She was that one
Mhm.
teacher that knew how to kind of bring me back to my center from elementary school.
Mhm.
And I have been able to see my high school favorite teacher more recently. Um,
Yes.
Her name is Miss Thurkill. She taught me geometry at the Arthur Howard Parker High School in Birmingham, Alabama. And to see her and know that she retired a while back, but she's still in the school because she has a desire to see children thrive in mathematics. And
Mhm.
I really believe those type of qualities are very important for children because you never know what they go home to.
Correct.
Um, do you have any siblings?
I do. I have four brothers and two other sisters.
Two other sisters?
Three.
Three sisters? That's a lot of siblings. Oh my goodness. How do you split your time?
Well,
So tell me a little bit about your siblings.
well, I
You said four brothers. You got any brothers doing anything magnificent right now?
I do actually. The oldest brother, the eldest brother, he is in the military. He
Oh
is
wow.
serving in the Marines, and I am very proud of him.
Oh, the
Um,
Marines? Ooh.
yes.
Okay. It takes a special person to serve in the
Oh,
Marines.
I have a sister. Um, my youngest sister, she is going also. She's leaving for the military in a couple of weeks. She is going, I think it is the National Guard.
Okay. And it's your youngest sister?
The my younger sister. It's one of my younger
Younger.
sisters.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
One of my younger sisters.
Okay.
Yes. My youngest sister. I don't know.
What?
I don't know if you want me if I speak. I'm a little
Just talk.
nervous. I apologize.
Ain't what you apologizing for. This just be yourself. It's just you and I. It's okay.
Yes. My youngest sister. I had the pleasure to meet her a couple of
Yeah.
months ago for the first time, October the 11th. Um,
Oh, you
she's
remember the
doing.
date.
I do. um, I was really happy to meet her. She's into a lot of sports. She's doing great things and she's going down a very good path. Um, mm, my oldest
Tell.
sister, she's in college.
Okay.
Um, my other brothers, they are still in, one is still in middle school and the
Okay.
other two are in high school still.
Okay.
And they plan on going to the military as well.
Where all of this military background come from? Are they rough and stuff? You think they can handle it?
I don't know.
Oh wow. It's something to have a desire to go into the military at this day and age.
Hmm.
Um, my son, my only son, just left
Hmm.
a couple of weeks ago to join the United States Air Force,
Wow.
and he's in basic training now as we speak. So I do understand, and before we go any further, I want to go on record saying I send nothing but positive energy to all of those that voluntarily chose to serve our country. And I hope that our country does them justice by serving them back.
Mhm.
Because for you to choose to leave your family, your foundation, your friends, to create a career for yourself. Sometimes people go so they can have lifelong benefits, but you have to really think about it because you have to decide, is the sacrifice worth the benefit? So I want to extend positive energy to all from Chlorshay's LLC that are serving or have served or plan to serve in the military. And I know this one fact does not go out often, but my heart and hat goes all the way out to the spouses and the ex spouses. Being a military spouse takes a different type of love, takes a different type of tolerance, and takes a different type of faith. So I want to put that out there, and I really I ask the universe to send all protection and positive energy to your siblings, to my son, my daughter. My eldest daughter is also military. My producer is a vet. My dad was a vet, so it's very important that we keep them in our hearts and on our minds. And that's going to be the end of my spiel on that. But it's very important that we acknowledge those that choose to sacrifice themselves to make sure that we have a safe place to lay our heads and live and thrive the best we can.
Yes, ma'am.
So my hats off to your siblings. Now back to Miss Fortune. Miss Fortune.
Yes.
Why'd you take a deep breath? You can feel the transition, can't you?
I can.
It's okay. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Um, I want to dive a little bit into your childhood as far as how did you come about to where you are today? What type of childhood did you really, really have? Now, keep in mind, your story is so important for those kids that you assist with every day. Your story is very important because your story will save a lot of lives. So, talk to me.
Well, let's start off from as far as I could remember.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
well, starting off in the household where I was and where I was placed, um,
Placed. What you mean placed?
as I where I was, I would say the home I was put
Okay.
in living, um, for the duration of I'm gonna say 5 to around maybe 18.
Okay.
So my me growing up in that household, I did not have the best of experiences.
Hmm.
There was a lot of toxicity going on in the household I was raised in. Um, I would say a lot of dehumanizing things being said
Mm.
towards not only me, but my siblings as well. Um, it, I would say it was, it was hard. And there was a lot of battles I was going through and a lot of things that I kept to myself
Mm.
all up until my breaking point. And so, yeah, I would say I did live in a single parent household.
Hmm.
Um, as you heard earlier, I have in that household I have 4 brothers, 2 sisters,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't say the family was split. It would be mostly as I was growing up, it would be one younger sister and 4 other brothers against the eldest sister and the mother of that
Mm.
household. Um,
What do you mean
it was,
against?
I would say, we were treated very differently.
Okay.
We were
Okay.
treated very differently. Um, there was a lot of favoritism towards one person rather than treating us all the same,
Mm-hmm.
um, which caused a big, I would say, disruption in the household.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Let's
I
stop right
would,
there for a second. Let's stop
okay,
right there. Take a quick
okay.
break. Um, Backtrack just a little bit. I want to go to where you started. You said this home you were placed in, you were put in. So where were you before then?
Um,
What type of care were you in?
I was with, I can't remember.
Was it an agency
Um,
like
I
Child
think I
Protective
was with
Services or DHR?
DHR, pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And so the home you were put in, you were placed in was a foster home?
Foster home, correct.
Okay. 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 And I, at one point in my life, thought about being a foster mom myself. I just wonder if I would have been good at it. But
Mm-hmm.
I know they advertise a lot needing foster families.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, not everybody can be a foster parent, even
Correct.
if you want to. At the time, I didn't think my financial situation could have allotted me an opportunity to share the care for another child like I had for my own children. So I strayed away from it, but I've always been connected to foster kids because I um, for years have been a contractor with our DHR service to provide hair care for foster children. So I still kind of kept a little connection to be available for those when I could. And when it's done right, foster care can propel a child into new dimensions where the sky is not the limit. I wanted to put that out there. It should always be some positivity in that area. Um, you said that you all were treated differently.
Correct.
And as a child, how did that make you feel?
Unloved, unwanted, um, felt a little, I could say, uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So
So in that time frame, did you have a safe space? Was the teacher you were telling me about, was that your safe space?
I could say yes
Hmm.
to an extent. I would always go running to the teacher
Hmm.
or like um and I feel as if she felt like she knew something was going on
Hmm. Hmm.
and she tried to help me to the best of her ability.
Okay.
um I felt very much comforted by this teacher
Oh, that's great.
and very much cared for by this teacher. And so that I believe she was my safe space.
So can you kind of understand the position you play right now, being that you're in a school?
Yes, ma'am.
And it makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does.
It makes a difference. Moving forward, with your siblings, there was, I call it a sibling rivalry
Hmm.
among you, the other siblings, and the eldest daughter. Were all of you all foster children?
I would say no. No.
Okay.
Two of them, how do I put this?
I mean, early on.
Like in the very beginning.
Yeah, were all of you
No, all of
foster?
us were not foster children. I
Okay.
say three out of the rest of us were foster children.
Okay. And everybody else was what, adopted?
Uh, I say sort of that way. One of,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. What do you mean, sorta?
Well, I would say, well, my the mother of the household knew two of the parents, and I they didn't go through the foster system.
Got you.
I would say they were
Private.
private. Yeah.
I got you. I got you. Okay. That's understandable. There's a lot of that that goes on with the private services.
Hmm.
It cuts out the middleman. You know,
Hmm.
my my I wonder, and maybe you can help me to understand a little bit better. I wonder what went through your eldest sibling's mind, knowing that she was the favorite. Can you give me maybe a
Well,
little example?
I could tell you as much as I can remember of what she was saying
Mm,
when we were
okay.
younger. Whenever a situation would occur, or let's say, I'm gonna use an example.
Mm-hmm.
If something, per se, got broken in the
Mm-hmm.
house and she had broken it,
Mm-hmm.
it would be, well, mama's not gonna believe you anyway because I'm her favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Or it would be like, I'm not gonna get in trouble, y'all are.
Mm-hmm.
And so, from instances that occurred, like such as that one,
Uh-huh.
um, I pretty much had it instilled in my brain that she knows that she's going to win the favor of the parent of the household, and that she could get away with a lot more than the rest of us could.
Um, as you speak on that, I do want to, and I know it's not a positive reassurance, but it could be.
Hmm.
I want you to know that that goes on in a whole lot of households.
Hmm.
A lot of households, to the point where it creates a rift among siblings when one or two are favored more than the others. And that creates scarring, separation anxiety, trust
Hmm.
issues. It creates situations where the child grows up to be an adolescent, then a young adult, and then an adult with the same childhood issues and trauma that never
Hmm.
get healed.
Correct.
So they take that into jobs and friendships and relationships.
Hmm.
I I know for a fact it's important to talk about those traumas, to discuss the issues and verbally just get it out your system so that healing can begin.
Hmm.
And I know we have had conversations, and I know that you have really shown that you have done some healing. And I want to applaud you for that. And I wish I had some sound effects. Woo! Woo! I want to applaud you for that because that's a big step in maturity, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
And the next thing I will say is sometimes you have to forgive people for an apology you never received. And it's not for them, it's for you.
Hmm.
So you can kind of take that heavy coat off of your shoulder because when you wear it, it weighs you down. And it will have you looking at other people and judging them from the experiences that you had with this past person. And that's not just sibling, that's in a lot of situations.
Correct.
So, as we go forward, I just want you to put it in your head that, find a way to forgive and then forgive yourself for carrying that weight, the weight of something that's not yours to carry. Because how they feel about you is none of your business. You understand what I mean by that? That's
I
their
do.
business. But I know that that makes a big difference in how you see other people and how you trust other people. So as you grew older and you locked it in your brain that this is what you were dealing with, how did you get away mentally sometimes? Or did you have any grandparents that you could talk with or spend time with, or god grandparents, or any other person that was mothering or had nurturing abilities for you to, confide in?
Well, I do want to take, let's go back to, I'd say when I was in middle school.
Hmm.
Um, for, I'd say at first, I have a aunt who, for a short period of time, was allowed to see me
Hmm.
and help me and guide me is in the correct path. Um, but it in the process had stopped
Mm.
because the parent of that household was not happy with the way or with the things I were relaying to that aunt.
Mm.
So I'd say for a few years, I was not allowed to speak to this aunt. I was not
Mm.
allowed to text, call, mail. I wasn't allowed to speak to her whatsoever, period. All up until I say the me transitioning into high school,
Hmm.
I was allowed to finally speak freely with her again. And she became someone that I could talk to, someone I could tell the things of what were going on. Um, I felt comfortable around this aunt. Um, there were a lot of instances where she would go above and beyond to make sure not only me, but my siblings were shown love
Okay.
and taken care of.
That's a beautiful
As
thing.
thank you.
It's a beautiful thing to have someone to trust. Um, so evidently you were talking too much, and what was going on needed to be kept quiet so that there would be no judgment.
Mhm.
But sometimes certain people in certain professions can get away with things that regular everyday people cannot. I would like for you to talk to me about some battles that you faced. And I appreciate the way you are trying to word your statements and everything. I appreciate it. Um, because I do want it to be a G-rated conversation. However,
Mhm.
I I look for truth. I look for um, the dotted I's and the crossed T's,
Mhm.
because sometimes when you are just using that, as an example, when you're writing and you're trying to get somewhere or get something done quickly without going into details, sometimes you forget to go back and dot an I and cross a T. And an uncrossed T can be mistaken as an L, and so can an
Mhm.
undotted I. So let's dive just a little deeper into some experiences you've had that put you in some dark places mentally and emotionally. And once you dive into it, I also want you to add on the tail end of how you were able to come out of that dark space. Any experiences that you've had as a child that may be a little difficult or embarrassing for other people to talk about when they haven't found a safe space, because I do believe in healing and I
Mhm.
tell my stories a lot, and I have a whole lot of stories. Everything from being raised by my father's family, and my dad being addicted to drugs and women on the street, to dealing with abuse, to being sexually molested, to losing my son. There have been so many different levels of trauma in my life, but over the years, I've learned how to, as the church folk said, use it as my testimony of how I've grown out of the hatred and the frustration for
Mhm.
myself because of what I dealt with. And I think it's important that young women tell their story and be as honest and real about it, because like I mentioned earlier, it helps to start your healing journey, but your story will save so many people's lives and give so many people hope on taking something, as the cliche says, taking lemon and making lemonade. I know you've heard
Mhm.
that before.
I have.
Adding a little sugar to the lemon and the water to
Mhm.
make it taste sweet and easier to digest.
Mhm.
So let's take about, I say, between 5 and 8 minutes, and let's dive a little deeper into that.
Okay. Well,
And take your time.
okay. Okay. So, as I stated before, it was a lot of degrading and toxicity, but it was also a lot of, I'd say, verbal and physical abuse
Hmm.
going in that household. Um, from as far as the first time, as far as getting physically hit, it was by my oldest sister, my eldest sister. Um, Whenever I say I was not listening, or whatever we weren't listening, we'd get hit with the end of a broomstick. It
Mm.
caused bruising, sometimes even made us bleed. And when we complain about it to the parent of that household, it would be said, well, you shouldn't have been acting up or not listening to our sister. Um, I would also say it was a lot of, for me at least, um, not particularly getting fed meals,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. Um, it would be like, well, you don't like to eat this, so you can go make yourself something. And when I tried to go make myself something, I'd be told no. And so I couldn't eat. There are there were locks on the refrigerator, locks on cabinets, locks on doors to where we couldn't eat. Um, Even sometimes I would say she wouldn't allow us at times to even go get some water. We'd get yelled at, get whooped for wanting to eat, for being hungry. And even if we, or per se, I, were to complain about not eating or being hungry, I'd get put outside and the door would get locked.
Outside, like outside the front door or in the garage or something.
Outside, like outside the
Mm.
front door. Um, it would be, and it wouldn't be for like maybe 30 minutes. It'd be hours on end. She would leave us outside, which led to us and led to me at some point getting angry and trying to knock doors in just to get inside, because sometimes we'd get put out from morning time all the way till evening time. And so it it was hard. And I will say, um
It's okay. Take
it,
your time.
and I say, I to me, I believe there's a difference between discipline and just being downright abusive. At points where I wasn't even acting bad, I get hit with sticks, belt, and to as far as I remember, I haven't actually mentioned this to anybody before, where we actually have to take our clothes off and get whooped. And so it it was a lot. It was a lot of it was a lot. And I can't find the words.
I'm so sorry that you had to deal with that.
It
Um, Go ahead.
we
I'm sorry.
it's all right. We were when we wanted to express ourselves,
Hmm.
we were told that we were dumb, stupid, we weren't going to be anything in life. I specifically was told that I was going to be a streetwalker when I get older. Um, I mean, every bad thing in a book that could be told is what we were called. Um,
Did it get any worse than that?
there's
You have the freedom to speak. You got the freedom to say whatever you need to say. You're protected and supported.
there's so many things. It's a lot.
It's a lot. That is a lot for a child over a span of how many years you said?
Five
From
to
age 5 to
five to
18?
10,
You said 5 to 10,
5 to 18.
18, 13 years. In the midst of all of that, because that's more than a notion. In the
Um,
midst of all of that, were there any other influences? Were there any drug influences? Was there any sex influences? Were there any influences for well, you've already mentioned the not being able to eat. That is just very disturbing.
what
Did,
I I apologize for cutting you off.
mm-mm, have at it.
What I will say is I'd say this was around the time where what I'm about to tell you was around the time of I'd say maybe 10 to 13.
Hmm.
The parent of one of my siblings,
The biological parent.
one of the biological parents,
Okay.
actually stayed in the home with us at one point. Um, w- we witnessed her getting abused as well.
Mm.
Um, from as far as my understanding, they had some sort of relations, and we'd see her getting hit as well.
What you mean, some sort of relations? You mean sex?
I would say like girlfriend and girlfriend
Okay. I mean, but those
relationship.
are two adults, though, right?
So correct, yeah.
Okay. So I'm talking about the children.
N- No, I was.
Wait a minute, back up. So you, the girlfriend, the the couple, they would fight physically?
Yes.
Okay,
In front of us is what I was trying to say, and it frightened us
I'm sure.
to even speak up about it or
Whether
to
it's
speak up.
a whatever type of couple it is, if it's homosexual or heterosexual, it doesn't matter when it comes to the fighting and the abuse. It's all the same.
Hmm.
It's all the same.
And what
Mm,
I will say is there will be times where we would, specifically even me and the second youngest brother, would speak out or try to grab people's attention,
mm-hmm,
and it would get dismissed because multiple of times we've had DHR and the police to our house and nothing was ever done
and why do you think that was the case?
because I feel as if my mother had, like, I felt like it was sort of a bit of, I'm not sure if I'm using this word right, injustice, because
Mm-hmm,
she worked in the police field
mm-hmm,
or sheriff field,
mm-hmm. Law enforcement. Okay,
law enforcement. And
okay.
so a lot of my mother's friends knew what were going on and were told what were going on, and they do nothing but laugh about it. They get, we'd hear from our mother's room her telling them what was going on over the phone, and she'd have them on speaker, and they'd just be laughing about it. And uh, it was even times where the police came and we spoken to them and told them flat out about what was going on, and still no help.
Mm.
Uh,
Was there um, anyone in the church or um, any type of counselor or workers that you all could have spoken to?
they, I'm gonna tell you the process of when they came to our house.
Okay.
Once the police get involved after whatever type of altercation it was, whether it was whether we were fighting or beating, when the
Mm-hmm.
police came to speak to us about it, we tell them everything. DHR would get called,
Mm-hmm.
or people would come to our house to speak to us.
Right.
Right. And so the issue was the parent of that household had cameras even outside the home everywhere. So we couldn't speak freely. And so
Mm.
we still at the end of the day tell what had happened. And after we spoke to DHR or the people or the therapist, our mom, right before they leave, go and speak to them at their car or speak to them about the situation and say it was a form of discipline. And after that, we'd hear pretty much nothing. Nothing back. No help. No anything.
There was one comment that you made that kind of got to me just a little bit when you said that she mentioned that you would end up being a streetwalker. Do you have an idea of where that thought may have come from? Like, were you promiscuous? You know what I'm saying? Were you trying to do things at a young age? Or
No.
what would cause her to even come up with an idea like that?
I would say the first time she ever called me that or say that I would be that would be around the age of 12, as far as I can remember. And so I honestly, I don't, I don't know why she would say something as that. There were, however, very many instances in as I was getting older, around the 15, 16-year mark, where I was growing
Mm-hmm.
and where there was an instance that happened where we had to jump from our household to my grandmother's household because an issue came about, and we had to stay next to it was I would say I'm getting a little deep here,
That's
but
fine.
this household next to us were a bunch of men, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. But it was a young girl around my age
Mm-hmm.
there who I was friends with, who I would go over there and hang out with. And at one point, I can't remember exactly what I was wearing,
Mm-hmm.
but I went over there and my friend told me that one of the guys in the house said they wanted to rape me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Who said that?" And she said they posted it on Facebook. She showed me the post, and I took her phone and I took it to my mom. And from that point on, after that incident, she called me names such as streetwalker, um,
Did
a
you say it?
tramp, a tramp,
Oh.
a hoe, a whore, and things to that nature.
How did that make you feel? Did you know what those names meant at the time? Did you have an idea?
Lots, t- lot the other words other than streetwalker. I had an idea of what she was saying or
Okay.
what she was calling me.
Okay.
But once I finally understood those words that she did call me,
Mm-hmm.
um, it broke my heart. I
I
was
know it did break your heart. I'm
it.
sure. I'm sure it would have broken my heart as well, to be honest with you.
This
And does it still bother you to this day?
it does.
I understand.
Honestly, it does.
So, just the idea of you being told these things, how has it really affected your day to day now?
I'd say I kind of overthink now.
Okay,
I overthink, and sometimes not on purpose, but I feel as if I'm being judged.
got you.
Um, so it's
I'm gonna tell you this. It takes a lot of bravery to talk about what you talked about today. A lot of bravery. And as we wrap up, um, I got two quick questions for you. And I want you to think it through real as quickly as you can. So I don't want to hold you much longer. We've hit our hour mark already. Um, and I would love to come back and continue. We've gone through the real hard parts, and I would love to come back and continue on a brighter level at another day. But the first question is, and I want you to find it in your heart to be upfront and honest without being super long winded about it,
okay.
because you don't have to be. You can just say what you want to say. I want you to look in that camera, and I want you to talk to that person that was supposed to care for you and love you and tell them exactly how you feel today. Tell them how you feel and be as open and honest as you possibly can. And this is to help you. Go ahead.
I want to say that you cannot break me anymore. I've grown into a smart, beautiful woman. I have I am in the process still on some things healing, but you can't break me down anymore. That's what I have to say.
That's good. And the last thing I want you to do for me on a lighter note is look in that camera and I want you to talk to a little girl or talk to the little girl inside of you and say something to let that child know that they are not alone and that they can heal just like you. Go ahead.
You said speak to the little girl inside of me.
Yeah. As if you were talking to one of those kids at the school that you work with. Be encouraging.
You are somebody. You are wonderful how you are. Do not let words break you. Be strong.
That's amazing. So, To close out tonight, I want to say my inclaration, which is my word for inspiration, my inclaration for this show is you create your own reality and you teach people how to treat you by how you respond or react. Reacting sometimes can be instinctive, but if you slow down enough and pay attention to what's going on in the moment, you'll end up with a response that you can hold on to. Other people's opinions of you, it's not your business, it's theirs. Keep your eyes on this broadcast and this show. I'm so happy you guys joined us for another episode of In the Chair with Clara Shea, produced by Divine Grace Media, the best producer there is. I will also tag on the YouTube channel and um, the radio show as soon as I get a chance. Hotline number for anybody that may be going through some things and needs somebody to talk to. I'm going to provide that information for you. There are several phone numbers out, several text numbers if you don't feel like talking, and I'm going to post it in the comments. And if you have anything that you want to discuss, or some things that you would like to get out of your system, you can always leave a comment. Contact Clara Shays or Divine Grace Media. I promise you, if you look us up, you'll find us. Thank you so much for your attention as we listen to this young lady pour out her heart while she's healing. And stay tuned to find out who will be next in the chair with Clara Shay.
I come back to myself.